Alright, this is Team Battle Jarvan. I'm here with my drink. If any of you know what horchata is, it's delicious. Some don't like it, but I do. Anyhow, I picked Jarvan because they have Vladimir, and I hate Vladimir. And Jarvan's one of the few who can kick his ass when ganking him in a lane. Especially once you reach level 6, there's pretty much no return from that. And my opponent is Nautilus. Well, first things first, the enemy team is hovering around my blue, so I asked my Janna, please put a ward on that bush so we can see him coming, and we don't have, I don't want to get myself killed. Easily though, I just get blue. I started with regrowth pendant, going Philosopher's Stone. Nautilus isn't a big deal when it comes to dueling or anything, so I don't need the cloth armor or any defenses. Anyways, I go to gank top, and watch this. Swain is completely gankable here. However, RE doesn't pay much attention, and Swain gets away. I do basically break his legs, so now he's got to use 1 or 2 potions in order to stay in the game. But so it's still technically a win. I get red, I clear my rates, and I want to gank Vladimir. However, Rise uses his snare a little too quickly. I mean, a little too soon, and he gets away. And that's how and I try to jump Vladimir, see if I can get some damage. Though he burned his escape, and that's a victory in itself. However, Rise doesn't have any mana to take advantage of that during the laning phase. Rise is pretty much laning with no mana, so Vladimir can walk all over him. Luckily, a Nautilus gank convinces him he should probably go home and get some, health and mana. And I need to kill this Vladimir. I want to shut him down. He has an interesting name, Mr. Fister. However, though, Vladimir is safe as it is, so I go back to gank Swain. It's obvious he has a ward because he backed out, but if you saw there, I stood behind him and I was just waiting to see what he was going to do with his W. If he was going to cast it, I'm pretty sure he was waiting to cast it until after I've used my CC. I think he was predicting when I'd use it. Anyways, my teammates at bottom didn't ward a dragon area, so they were easily able to go in and take my blue. Pretty sad, puts me behind, but nah. But at least I bought a blue potion. Sadly though, I won't actually use it because I tend to forget that I actually have the items. So now I get a level 6, go home, buy my boots, and buy a ward for my teammates. Boots is going to help gank Vladimir, you'll see. Well, now that I'm 6, ganking possibilities with Jarvan just hit a new, a new level. Swain is now no longer top. He went back home to heal or whatever. I have no idea. Or he's probably hiding from me. Doesn't matter. My teammate Rise has some mana, so he should be able to help me gank. Well, not anymore, I guess. I haven't been paying attention. This game's about, I think, 2 weeks old. Yeah, it's about 2 weeks old. The special reason why I picked it, you'll find out sooner or later. So Rise goes back to heal, get some mana. I go around and set myself up to gank Vladimir. Vladimir makes a big mistake here. Not only is he at the tower, but he wastes his escape to dodge Rise. Now, I don't use my stun right away, my knockup yet. I wait until he has forced to flash. Therefore, he not only wastes flash, but I can easily get him and Nautilus. And Nautilus is going to drop 2 out of this, so those 2 kills for us. And Vladimir also wasted all his escapes and his summoner spells. That also leads us to a easy dragon. Take a sip of my horchata. But I ain't done there. I'm going to use my flash and just get myself another kill. Get another kill, I mean. So this is Sona, picked off with a red from Rise. So, there we go. We have a lead in the beginning. Though I am going to make some mistakes that's going to pretty much set us back a lot. It's going to set us back. I do some really retarded things. I am not perfect. Don't judge me. Once more, Vladimir is just doomed. Easily. I have my ultimate just in case he used his W to escape. I'd be able to pin him down. He doesn't have his flash, remember? Anyways, time to return the favor, and I'm gonna steal Nautilus' blue. Now I'm pretty sure he didn't have smite down, and I didn't cast it quick enough. I kind of could have casted it right there and then, but I don't know what I was thinking. Nautilus opens up with his ult, which is a mistake because he couldn't even kill me. I would have escaped. However, now my teammates showed up just in time, so we can get both of them. Swain easily dropped. And I trapped Nautilus, so he was taking free damage. and we get, you know, buffs, we get heals. I mean, not heals. I mean, we kills, and we have, you know, an imposing lead. Now, here's another mistake here. I should have built some DPS early on. I'm ahead. If I'm ahead, I should build damage. And here's another gank. This is a direct gank attempt. I burned nothing. I just burned my ultimate, and I have blue buff, so it's going to be back up sooner than usual. And I caused them to burn their summoner spells. So therefore, they lost a lot, while my team didn't. That's not your League of Legends. That's just, you know, during the recording, somebody sent me something. Now, once more, there's a lot of roaming around. They started to put up wards, so it's going to become a lot more difficult to actually gank anybody. So we're going to stand up. We're going to have a standoff. Anyways, I'm building Aegis of the Legion because I tend to prefer, you know, Aro support Jarvan, but it ended up being a mistake in this one. Now, here's something stupid, and I tend to do this a lot, and you've seen it in some team battles. I like to test out how much damage they're actually going to do to me. And then I noticed they actually have a Bloodthirster, even in the game. I remember this from 2 weeks ago. I'm like, wait, she has a Bloodthirster, and none of you said anything? So I pretty much do the stupid thing, the stupidest thing I could do, and get myself killed. And then I return, and you know, thinking I can get something and die. Though, if you notice, Corky kind of just stood back and was afraid of getting killed, and they were focusing me, and Jono kind of stood, you know, back. Sure, Nautilus could, you know, jump her and do shit to her, but he wasn't going to kill her. If they turned on her, probably, but if Corky was, you know, focused on the Vayne, something could have happened. Corky is building himself Trinity Force first, and it's going to end up being a mistake, and you'll see that. Horchata is delicious. Now I zoomed really quickly there. I just assume Vladimir imploded. He's dead. So that gives us a lead. Now I'm also a little tipsy, and certainly drinking more sugar water isn't gonna help. Well, another thing's happening. I want to say something. Some people have complained, Stonewall, why don't you take multiple takes? We don't want to hear your stuttering and your, you know, slipping of words and all that good stuff. I'm like, the fuck? Who cares? You want, like, this is more natural and a lot lazier. So, like, in the end of the day, you're still gonna get the same damn information. Anyhow, here's what I tend to do as Jarvan. If there's no real fight, I use my CC, then just immediately walk away. Sometimes people assume this is a full initiation, and like you saw, Nautilus burns their ultimate on me or burns some CC. However, I'm already a distance away with my team that I'll survive, and, you know, Jarvan being tanky-ish, even if they focused me, I wouldn't take too much damage. So we got an easy Nautilus kill there. I feel that Jarvan is best used for a CC if you're going, you know, aura tank, and that's what I like to do. Be an aura tank. Alright, so what you just saw there, I was hoping that my team would, you know, hang out with me and get a cherry pick, and I was hoping maybe Sona would be, you know, would walk around and I get a free kill. But no, nobody came, and I beat chicken out at the end. So now you can see Vayne is tearing my team apart, and it's not gonna get any better. So now it's one of those bottom lane failed miserably, and now we kind of got to pick it up for them. But we kind of can't because, as you'll see, my team kind of goes dirt mode. So here comes the... oh, right there. I thought, you know, maybe Sona's just the only one there. Nope, no, there's Vayne, so back away. So here's going to come the first team fight. I want you to notice certain things. My ultimate wasn't too perfect, but notice Corky's positioning and what he's actually doing in the fight. I sort of cut off a lot of the things, and not much happens. But look what, like, Corky doesn't do much, and Rise sort of focuses the wrong people. So we get no damage, despite the fact that they were all kind of in the same spot, and we die. So in there, we pretty much had no fucking DPS, and that's why we lost. My ult wasn't exactly the most perfect, but it was manageably, it was, you know, it was still pretty good, in my opinion. Like, I cut off the team, I secured somebody to get murdered, and, like, what's the word, like, come on. It wasn't as bad as, you know, the Corky not focusing something, or, you know, just shooting the wrong side. This is why you build Infinity Edge. Now here's something stupid of me. I'm like, I just think it's just these two, and I kind of started before I noticed. I had the camera focused on me, like even though it doesn't show up here in the little replay recording. So when I saw the other two come out, I was like, holy crap, and I escaped with my life. Now obviously I'm hurt, so I'm just waiting for our minions to arrive and push it back a little before I go heal and buy an elixir. Here will come another team fight, but it won't be as like thorough as the next one. I mean, as the last one. So Vayne gets picked off after Sona initiates, and I jump on her and close in and trap a few of them. Vayne got out. I'm like, did she flash? I have no idea if she can, if it shows up when she's invisible. Pretty much no one dies. It's those kind of team fights, the ones that are unsatisfying. It's like a girl teasing you, giving you blue balls, and then walking away. And where she walks away knowing what she did. Yeah, so back to Mexican standoff mode. There's gonna be a part in this where I'm actually gonna rage. Because when I look back at it, I'm just like, dear God, I was so pissed when it happened, and I'm still pissed at it just watching it. So okay, here's another team fight. I initiate on all of them, and I trap the entire team in the game catalyst. However, though, Corky runs the hell away. Instead of using Valkyrie to go behind the wall, where the rest of his team was, and shooting at them. Vladimir at least gets killed, and watch what Ari does. I know these people play with me, but they have to see for themselves that what they did was pretty fucking stupid. So Ari, instead of thinking, I can't 1v1 Ari. Vayne tries to 1v1 Vayne and dies. So now it's one of those. These team fights are starting to go bad for us. I gotta build something to stop them, so I built a Surroundings Omen, which is, the RO tanky thing. I got more slow. I got stuff to try to stop the Vayne from killing everyone. I gotta keep them all compacted so my team can do some AoE damage, because that's what Corky and Rise like to do. So, and I guess Ari with that Q, true damage. So we easily pick off a Sona. She's just like and now here, this Cataclysm is not to trap Nautilus, but to get me closer to try to get the Vladimir. However, my team thought it was for Nautilus, even though I said it wasn't. It's irrelevant anyways. Like, Vayne gets away, Vladimir gets snared, and then we manage to pick him up. So there's his death. The enemy team is weakened lower, and I say, let's do Baron right now. And I tell them, just focus at Baron. Like, if they come, they can't do much. They're hurt. So instead, we get healed by Janna, but instead of focusing them, I was in position just to see if I can, stun them, they start running away. And then they run away. It's only 3 people. Go back in there and kill one of them, or 2. They burn all their goddamn spells, but, if they were around when I was using my CC, we probably would have killed them all without me dying. We get 2 kills at least, but now I don't have Baron, and that was a lot messier. They also wasted their flashes, so that's a bunch of crap. Now, I'm not saying I'm never free of blame. There's games where I've lost it from my team, completely my fault, and done some stupid shit. Hell, you saw me do some stupid shit here in this game. I'm just saying that was some stupid shit from them, and that was pretty obvious. Now here comes one of the most boring things League of Legends has. We're all tanky, and the tower is there, deterring us from actually doing anything. So we're gonna stand here for 5 minutes, doing absolutely nothing. And I speed it up because absolutely nothing happens, and our Baron runs out. Sorry to have to say this, comparison with Dota, but in Dota, you'd be tower dove right now. You'd be tower diving your ass all day. Also, you have to kind of agree and admit. Everyone becoming tanky and never dying and basically being a poking battle of annoyance is pretty much boring as hell, and it should be fixed from this game. Tankiness is a curse of the game. So yeah, back and forth, nothing happening, just pushing minions. We were hoping that, you know, our minion lanes on the other ones, our minion waves on the other lanes would push enough that the enemy team would leave, but they weren't. My team can't decide, should we push another lane? Should we do this? So it's kind of me just hanging about doing nothing. Until they'll finally initiate on us, and you'll see how it goes. Pay attention to the corky again. Me walking around, dude, just being Jarvan. Hey, 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 hey. Taking my horchata. That wasn't an initiate either. So yeah, Mexican standoff. This is exciting. I would, you know, imagine my commentator during this part. Yeah. Finally, they initiate on us, and thus I counter-initiate on them and trap them. Corky runs away and decides shooting missiles better. Then he comes in and starts running away. It's like, okay, you know, when they were all trapped in there, if you were positioned properly, you'd be able to barrage them and shoot the crap out of them. Cue your, I don't know, your Gatling gun and your rockets. But no, okay, you ran away for the first part with your Gatling gun blazing, so that was gone really quickly. You shot missiles at a distance, and you rapid fired them too, so making your machine pretty much fucking useless from your Trinity Force. And therefore, and you didn't have Infinity Gauge, therefore, you know, it's no damage. I didn't pay much attention to what anybody else did. I just counter-initiated, trapped a bunch of them, and our AoEs failed. I feel so good. So now the final confrontation is coming up, and this is where I just say, fuck it. We lost anyways, we're not coming back, so maybe we'll get one out of our fucking ass and win it. So the first chance I see, I'm going to lunge myself to death. I'm going to launch myself to my death. There, I get CC'd, and I just jump right in, and obviously I'm going to die miserably and pathetically. No chat, no, you know, dispute there. And then we die. We all die. The best part about this isn't the endgame chat. Vladimir decides to trash talk because I have no idea, you know, he feels so proud of himself. Proud of himself for beating some quote-unquote celebrity who doesn't really give a shit about his fame. So, that's my defeat. Yeah.